My first A1C measurement was almost 6 months to the day. To the 10.4 to 6.1 was almost 6 months to the day, but that's not even including when I started the program. I didn't start the program right when I got diagnosed. I was probably about a month and a half in before I got really started. So it was even shorter than 6 months. This is the first time I've, as an adult, have been able to lose weight eating, and I've lost about 40 pounds. Less than 6 months, I've gone down over 4 points in an A1C, which I think that's pretty significant. To me, it's also that what your body can do, how it can heal itself. I had seen the Game Changers, and I knew that this was something that I was interested in for a while. It was just how to do it and to what degree. So he was like, okay. So came back 3 months later and came back with my A1C was 7.8. And at this point, they offered to give me a book to send to him. So that's what I did, is I gave him a book. I actually don't know if he's had any chance to read it, but then a couple of weeks ago, my A1C came back at 6.1. Now, my first A1C measurement was almost 6 months to the day. To the 10.4 to 6.1 was almost 6 months to the day, but that's not even including when I started the program. I didn't start the program right when I got diagnosed. I was probably about a month and a half in before I got really started. So it was even shorter than 6 months. This is the first time I've, as an adult, have been able to lose weight eating, and I've lost about 40 pounds since this all began. So, and I still have more to go. So that's why I say I'm in progress. This is the before, and then this is the in progress picture, because I don't know if I ever want to say the after. Now I want to proselytize what we're doing. But of course, I wouldn't have listened to me 2 years ago. I would have been like, yeah, okay. I never would have seen myself eating nothing but plants. And so then today, actually, I had an eye appointment today because my vision is going back, or to a less strong prescription. And so I told him, I said, this is what's happening. And he goes, oh yeah, this is definitely like, and he was talking about how sugar impacts the lens and that kind of thing. So many positive things that just come out of this. But what was interesting, my glucose level on February 10th of this year was 321. So it just like blows me away now that I've like measuring every day. My cholesterol total was 186. My HDL was 31. My LDL was 92. My triglycerides were 315. VLDL was 63, and non-HDL cholesterol was 155. I had to fight for my C-peptide test. I got that at the end of April 28th. That came back fortunately at a 3.2. And I had a pancreatitis a couple of years ago that killed off, it was gallbladder-induced pancreatitis, and it killed off about a third of my pancreas. So I was concerned that this might have been a result of that, but fortunately, everything's like fine. They told me then that you can actually survive with that kind of, or you don't have to have any issues with that kind of impact. May of 23rd, my average glucose came back at 177. My A1C came back at 7.8. My cholesterol came back at 169, total cholesterol. HDL came back at 29, so that only went down a couple points. The LDL actually went up just 1.93. The triglycerides came down to 237. VLDL 47. Non-HDL cholesterol was 140 instead of 155. Then on August 9th, that's when my average glucose was 128. And then my A1C was 6.1, but my glucose was 106. I've been in the low 100s and sometimes in the 90s over this time. So now the goal is to get into the fives. What's amazing is when I just feel a lot more not happy, but brighter, like my resting emotional place is not necessarily like Eeyore. It's much more just brighter. And I feel like that's a couple of reasons is I feel like I'm doing something positive for myself, and I'm finally putting me first. So that's a behavior that's enhancing my emotions, as well as I'm not feeling as tired. Like I'm not feeling like I need to go take a nap after I eat lunch and dinner or that kind of thing. So the energy level is definitely much higher. Less than 6 months, I've gone down over 4 points in an A1C, which I think that's pretty significant. To me, it's also that what your body can do, how it can heal itself. I've, listened to Dr. Greger as well. And he was saying, like, with the assault that we have on our bodies when we continue to eat meat and inflammatory foods, like our body doesn't get a chance to recover between meals until you go plant-based, and then your body gets a chance to recover. And it's really interesting to see what happens, what your body can do when it can recover. So that's what I try to tell people, that I'm not doing anything other than changing my diet, and I'm not starving. I am not starving. And that's the thing about a diet. Like, what is worse than thinking about how little you can eat all day and what makes you want to eat more? than when you think about how little you're supposed to eat. Breakfast, actually, with the massive amount of fruit and greens in the morning, are just amazing. And I mean, that's so easy. And then there was soups. I'm really into soups because of so much of the cold food in the morning, I crave warm food. So there was a Moroccan lentil dish that has a cashew cream. It was my second week of my meal plan. There was no salt. I just could not believe how tasty and satisfying that was. And so I'm also doing the 6-week challenge right now. And there is a lemon Brussels sprout dish that was really good. The mistake I made with the first 2 weeks, I bought every piece of grocery that was on the list. And of course, I'm the only one eating it. So sometimes it's like a big pan of soup or whatever, or chili. It's like 2 servings. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, and sometimes you can't eat enough. Like you can't even get down what you're supposed to eat. There's so much food. So, but I would say the soups and the breakfasts are my favorite.